Hello everybody and welcome to another mystery box function challenge. In this purple mystery box there is some math and your challenge is to figure out what it is. Because today is Friday, that math is going to be particularly challenging. If you'd like to try this out on your own, you can use the link in the description, and when you've got an idea, come on back and see if we get the same thing. All right, let's begin with a 0. Okay, 0 is 1. How about 1? 0. How about 2? Oh, goodness. So we went down and then up pretty rapidly there, and both parts of those have different slopes. So we've definitely got a curve going on here of some sort. Is this? Well, the numbers certainly don't look like trig. Well, let's keep going. Let's put in a 3. Oh, and we're off the graph already. So I guess that shoots up pretty rapidly. Let's go in the negative direction. Here's a -1. And that's at 2. Huh, just looks like a line there. How about -2? There we're up at 9, and how about a -3? Off the graph there. Boy, this is very unusual. So I think I'm going to take a few points around the x equals 0 and see what's going on, because it looks linear there. Is it really linear in that section? So let's put in a 1/2. Oh, it's not. Okay, and a -1/2. Huh. So that's interesting. Do you see anything that looks recognizable at all? This section right here, where we had the 3 points that looked like a line, but then we see it flattens out in the middle, that's something I'm used to seeing in a cubic function, although cubic would be down on the left, up on the right, so this is going the other direction. But I guess that's something to think about. And then what does it do here? I mean, this looks like a fairly smooth curve, right? I can see that continue, but what's going on there? I'm going to do 3/4. So it's curving down to that point. How about 0.9 even? Now right down there, and then what happens? Does it go down below and come back up? So let's do 1.5. Oh wow, so it just shoots right up. Is that a sharp turn at the bottom? Let's do 1.1. Wow, it looks like it comes to a point there. So, I'm just going to fill that in a little bit more. Yeah. So how odd. So we're coming down here, we flatten out for typical cubic or negative cubic function, then we go down, touch 0, and just shoot back up and coming to this sharp point there. So what is going on here? I think there are some clues in the shape that could help us. This sharp point and the fact that everything is above the x-axis makes me think of something else. It makes me think of the absolute value of x. Absolute value of x is the only function we're used to seeing that has a sharp point like that. So maybe this is some combination of cubic and absolute value. And I guess, the vertex of this thing would be right here. So at x equals 1. And if we were doing that in an absolute value function, we'd have x minus 1 and take the absolute value of that. Is it that cubed, or is it x cubed minus 1 and then take the absolute? Let's try this first. So if I put in a 1 here, that would be 1 cubed minus 1. That would be 0. And we take the absolute value of that, of course, it's still 0. And if I put in a 1, it would, so if I put in a 0, it would be a -1, take the absolute value of that, and it would be a +1. So that makes sense. How about if I put in a 2? Let's try that. So absolute value of, of 2 cubed minus 1. So 2 cubed is 8, minus 1 is 7. Absolute value of 7 is 7. And that's what we're getting there. Let's just try a negative value just to be sure here. So let's put in a negative 3. So negative 3 quantity cubed minus 1 and then the absolute value. So negative 3 quantity cubed is negative 27. Minus 1 would be negative 28. You take the absolute value of that, you get 28. And we are getting 28. Wow, okay. So I think we've got it, and I think it was just the visual cues that really led to being able to combine these things together. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, x absolute value of x cubed minus 1. And let's graph that thing. What an odd looking function. Very interesting. So yeah, it does look like sort of the inverse cubic function until it gets to 1, and then that sharp turn like you have in an absolute value. Well, how did that go for you? I think that was really, really difficult. If you got this, let me know. I'd love to hear. Thanks, everybody.